We draw closer and closer to the real thing. But that doesn't mean we're gonna stop predicting.
I've been watching TPS for a while now, and I gotta know when are you dropping a 10.0 mock, man? I gotta know who my Patriots are picking in the draft.
We are only 1 week away from the draft, which means it's time to once again take our shot at predicting which teams will land which players. Number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars, AIDAN Hutchinson. Absolutely nothing changes here. The Jaguars have to take the best player available, and Hutchinson would give this franchise a second game-ranking pass rusher to complement Josh Allen. And trust us, you need players like Hutchinson when you play in a conference loaded with superstar quarterbacks. Number 2, Detroit Lions, Travon Walker. Now don't be shocked if the Lions trade down here, but if they hold the pick, the Georgia defensive end makes a ton of sense for them. He can wreak havoc from anywhere, just the type of guy the Lions can build their defense around. Number 3, Houston Texans, Evan Neal. It's the best player available mentality here for a team with more flaws than any other squad. Pairing the Alabama sensation alongside veteran mainstay Laramie Tunsil would give Houston an elite tandem at the tackle position, and an upgraded O-line would give Houston the best chance to evaluate Davis Mills' ability to lead this team into the future. Number 4, New York Jets, AHMAD Sauce Gardner. New York could really go anywhere here, but after fielding the NFL's worst defense a year ago, how could the Jets pass up on one of the best cornerback prospects in years? Sauce Gardner would eliminate the opposition's top wideout, and did you know he didn't allow a single touchdown in coverage over his 3 years at Cincinnati? That sounds like someone Robert Saleh could really use. Number 5, New York Giants, Ike Mekwonu. The G-men have to use at least one first-rounder here on an offensive lineman. Ike Mekwonu is ready to start. Pairing him with Andrew Thomas should be too enticing for GM Joe Schoen to pass up on. 2022 is certainly a make-or-break year for Daniel Jones in New York. The least the Giants could do is give him a decent O-line to work behind. Number 6, Carolina Panthers, Kenny Pickett. By no means is Pickett a top 10 or even top 15 prospect in this class, but Matt Rule is on the hot seat, and Carolina is in desperate need of a quarterback. Pickett is just the most NFL-ready QB in this class. Maybe he unleashes it right away with the help of Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. Number 7, New York Giants from Chicago Bears, Kayvon Thibodeau. The Giants should use their second first-rounder on defense here. Oregon pass rusher Kayvon Thibodeau is a boomer-bust prospect, but it'll be hard for this new regime to pass on the young man's high ceiling. Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, and Leonard Williams suddenly give the Giants a promising trio in their front seven. Number 8, Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Hamilton. This would be just perfect for Atlanta. Hamilton gives this leaky defense a dynamic weapon who can fly all across the field. Hamilton's best trait is his coverage skills, and as bad as the Atlanta defense looks on paper, Hamilton and AJ Terrell alone could give this group a top 5 secondary. How does GM Jerry Fontenot pass on that idea? Number 9, Seattle Seahawks from Denver Broncos, Charles Cross. The Seahawks should be in rebuild mode without Russell Wilson, but they don't seem willing to admit it just yet. Either way, they have enough holes that they should just settle on the best player available. In this case, it's Mississippi State offensive tackle Charles Cross. The O-line has been Seattle's main weakness for a long time. Adding Cross gets Pete Carroll and company one step closer to making it a strength for once. Number 10, New York Jets from Seattle Seahawks, Garrett Wilson. The Jets already got Sauce Gardner at their 4th overall pick. Now it's time to find a home run threat for young QB Zach Wilson. Garrett Wilson is the most polished receiver prospect in this class. Him, Elijah Moore, and Corey Davis would give the Jets 3 potential 1,000-yard options. Number 11, Washington Commanders, Drake London. The Commanders gave up a lot to bring in Carson Wentz. They have to bring in at least one more weapon to give him the best chance to succeed. Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, and Logan Thomas are a very nice start, but adding London gives Washington another playmaking weapon to complement McLaurin. Now the offense is set for Wentz. No excuses. Number 12, Minnesota Vikings, Derek Stingley Jr. This pick just makes way too much sense. The Vikings need a capable lockdown corner, and the future Hall of Famer Patrick Peterson can mentor Stingley into that role. If he's able to stay healthy, Stingley could come out of this class as a top 3 prospect. For many, it's absolutely worth taking a chance on. Number 13, Houston Texans from Cleveland Browns, Devin Lloyd. The Texans lack star power on the defensive side of the ball, so let's resolve it by giving them Utah linebacker Devin Lloyd. He's a playmaker all across the field and would flourish immediately in Lovie Smith's defense. Number 14, Baltimore Ravens, Jermaine Johnson II. The Ravens need more juice and speed off the edge. After ignoring that in free agency, they resolve it by picking up the Florida Seminoles standout. Johnson, who had 12 sacks last year, is tailor-made for an aggressive blitz-happy defense like the Ravens. Number 15, Philadelphia Eagles from Miami Dolphins, George Karlaftis. With Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox getting up there in age, the Eagles should address the defensive line early. Purdue defensive end George Karlaftis makes perfect sense here. He can learn from two of the very best in the business in Graham and Cox before taking over as the lead dog in Philly's front seven. Number 16, New Orleans Saints from Philadelphia Eagles, Trevor Penning. Quarterback is a possibility here, but the popular belief is that the Saints are in win-now mode with Jameis Winston, and that they'll use their 2 first-round picks to address their 2 most immediate needs, wide receiver and offensive tackle. Losing Terron Armstead in free agency leaves Nola with a hole at left tackle. So, Trevor Penning is the pick here. He and Ryan Ramczyk would solidify that offensive line for the long run. Number 17, Los Angeles Chargers, Kenyon Green. The Bolts already have 2 stalwarts on the O-line in Corey Linsley and Rashawn Slater, but the rest of the group leaves a lot to be desired. So let's give LA a 3rd building block to further improve Justin Herbert's pass protection. Green does it all at guard. He's a world-class run blocker and a premier pass protector who allowed just 1 sack between 2020 and 2021, per Pro Football Focus. Number 18, Philadelphia Eagles from New Orleans Saints, Jameson Williams. The Eagles gotta find another explosive pass catcher to help Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. Don't worry about Williams' ACL tear. That's not a career-ending injury in this day and age, and his game-changing speed is too exciting for Philly to pass on. Number 19, New Orleans Saints from Philadelphia Eagles, Chris Olave. This would be the cherry on top of a solid offseason. After drafting Penning, they find that much-needed 3rd weapon to help out Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. Olave is a grade A route runner and a matchup nightmare in the red zone, having racked up 32 touchdowns over his last 3 years at Ohio State. That sounds like someone Jameis Winston would love to have. Number 20, Pittsburgh Steelers, Desmond Ridder. With few holes all over their roster, Pittsburgh can't afford to reach for a QB here. The Cincinnati product, Desmond Ridder, needs to sit for a year or 2, which is just fine because the Steelers signed Mitch Trubisky in free agency. Ridder has a nice dual-threat game and makes smart decisions with the football. Let him learn behind Trubisky for a year or 2 before handing Ridder the reins. Honestly, it's just a perfect situation for all parties involved. Number 21, New England Patriots, Nakobe Dean. We know many New England fans want to see a receiver here, but don't you think the Devontae Parker trade takes them out of the running? Plus, receiver really isn't their biggest need right now. The Patriots need more youth, speed, and athleticism on their aging defense, and Dean checks off all the boxes. Plus, his high football IQ makes him the type of player Bill Belichick values the most. Number 22. Green Bay Packers from Las Vegas Raiders, Treylon Burks. After trading Devontae Adams, the Packers seriously gotta take a receiver in round 1. For once, please. At this stage, Arkansas product Treylon Burks is the top pass catcher remaining. Having racked up 18 touchdowns over the last 2 years, this elite deep threat would immediately do wonders with Aaron Rodgers. Number 23, Arizona Cardinals, Trent McDuffie. This is such a tough spot to predict. But the Cardinals wouldn't regret taking a capable cover corner to help them deal with Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, and all those other scary good pass catchers in the NFC West. McDuffie absolutely fits the bill, as he has the athleticism to line up anywhere. Number 24, Dallas Cowboys, Zion Johnson. The Cowboys' once stout O-line lost key starters Connor Williams and La'el Collins this offseason. Dallas now has to address the interior part of the unit. Boston College product Zion Johnson can start right away and learn from 2 future Hall of Famers in Tyron Smith and Zach Martin. Number 25, Buffalo Bills, Roger McCreary. The Bills may be the most complete team in the NFL, so consider this a luxury pick. They had the NFL's best defense a year ago, but the ceiling would be even higher with Roger McCreary lining up beside All-Pro Tre'Davious White in the secondary. Buffalo's secondary was gashed by Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs last year. That won't happen again if White and McCreary are joining forces in the secondary. Number 26, Tennessee Titans, Bernhard Raimann. Tennessee should be locked in on the best offensive lineman remaining. And big Austrian Bernhard Raimann, listed at 6'7" and 305 pounds, would add a ton of juice to a Titans team that always looks to wear down their opponents in the trenches. Number 27, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jordan Davis. You can argue that guard, defensive end, or cornerback are bigger positions of need, but imagine if the Bucs had not one, but two elite run-stopping forces together. Vita Vea takes out double teams on his own for starters. What if the Bucs added Jordan Davis to that mix? More physicality and strength along the defensive line is never a bad thing to have. Number 28, Green Bay Packers, Daxton Hill. Some Packers fans understandably want a doubling down on receivers in round one. But could you imagine adding Daxton Hill to a Green Bay secondary that already has Jair Alexander, Adrian Amos, and Rasul Douglas? That would take this defense to a whole other level. Good luck throwing on these guys. Number 29. Kansas City Chiefs from Miami Dolphins, Jahan Dotson. KC is taking the best receiver available here. The Penn State star is a speedy 5-star deep threat who hauled in 12 touchdown passes last season. Plug him in an Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes-led offense and watch the fireworks happen. Number 30, Kansas City Chiefs, Boye Mafe. The Chiefs brought back Frank Clark on a restructured deal, sure. But his inconsistent production means KC should maybe add another starter on the front seven. Mafe, the Minnesota standout, would be ready to produce right away in Steve Spagnuolo's super aggressive defense. He'd give KC a third potential Pro Bowl pass rusher to help Clark and Chris Jones. Number 31, Cincinnati Bengals, Tyler Linderbaum. The Bengals already added Alex Kappa, La'el Collins, and Ted Karras to their O-line. Great. Love it. Now pencil in Tyler Linderbaum as your long-term starter at center and watch the offense fly. Linderbaum is far and away the best center prospect available in this draft. He'd go higher if there were more teams with a need at that position, but hey, the Bengals won't complain. 4 new starters to upgrade an O-line that allowed Joe Burrow to get sacked 70 times last year, including playoffs? That'd be one heck of an offseason for Cincy. Number 32, Detroit Lions from Los Angeles Rams, Malik Willis. With so much draft capital, why shouldn't the Lions take a chance on a quarterback in the number 32 spot? Sure, Liberty QB Malik Willis is a boomer bust prospect, but the Lions' wealth of draft picks allows them to take a shot on a possible franchise quarterback at the end of the first round. Willis has such a high upside that he's gonna need a year or two to develop, but hey, no problem there. The Lions can let him sit behind Jared Goff in 2022 and even possibly 2023 before making the transition. But what changes would you make to our 10th edition of the 2022 NFL First Round Mock Draft? Join us in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.